Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Hello, welcome in. We're just getting started. Let me share this out. Hey Brenda, how are you today? Good morning. Thank you, girl, for checking in with the Harmony. I literally just turned the camera on, so I was sharing it. Let's see. Let's see. But yes, how are you today? How did you sleep? I hope you had a good night. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, good. Yay. I'm glad you're doing great this morning. Let's see. Is the music loud? Let me know if the music is good too. Yes, I was trying to add Kimmy as a moderator too, but I couldn't find her name. So basically, just if anybody says anything crazy, you have the ability to block them. Because sometimes I can't see what people are saying. So that's all you have to worry about. Yay, level 4. Thank you. Let's see. So what I recently learned was it's really important in the first 10 minutes of your live. You're supposed to get like, how many? I don't know if they said 5,000 taps or something like that. I ordered one of those tappers, so I'm hoping it'll come soon. And we still have been trying to figure out this microphone. But, and I even had my husband look at it too. I'm not sure. Like, you know, when I turn it on, you're supposed to be able to connected to your Bluetooth, but mine wasn't connected. I feel like, you know, when I turn it on, you're supposed to be able to connect it to your Bluetooth, but mine wasn't connected. I feel like the music. Yeah, I felt like I was fighting with the music. But yeah, so hopefully I can figure this out by tomorrow. So I was like, oh, but I did kind of want to replace it with one of the pink ones anyway. Let's see. Yeah, I think a pink one would be even better because pink is just my favorite color. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and just get started. We're still going to be talking about our same book that we were talking about yesterday. But I do have the other one if you want to read some more quotes from here. So just let me know. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. We hope you have a good day. We are just over here doing our morning money mindset. Getting ourselves set up for a good day. Happy Wednesday, everyone scrolling through. Good morning. Good morning. Let me share. Oh, yeah, share to my story. That one I think does the best. Yes. So, Fabulosity, what it is and how to get it by Kimora Lee Simmons. Kimora Lee Simmons is such a style inspiration to me. Just what she did with her brand Baby Phat and the fact that, you know, her daughters were able to revamp the brand and they're coming back with their show is so exciting to me. So let's see. There's a chapter called Work Empowered. So let's work on that chapter today. This is what the chapter looks like. Super cute. She likes pink like I like pink. And I wanted to rewatch some of her old show. Okay, yes. Let's get started with our quotes because we'll be able to get the replay either on YouTube or on my website for the people that missed it. So, The first quote, it says, throw away the manual and find your own way into business. And I think that's so true, especially like when I think about TikTok and like all those rules that we were talking about, like for the For You page and the 7-second clip and the popular sound and all that kind of stuff. And it is good to do those things, but it's also good to remember to do your own thing too. So that's really important. Oh, I think I should set this goal to something smaller. Hold on. Let's do, I think the community fest is over. So let's do 20 heart puffs. Should be good. And something else I learned is it's really important when you end your live, make sure your live goal is complete before you end your live. You want to make sure immediately when you come on live, you want to start tapping your screen, because that's how you get more people to come in, and TikTok is looking to see how many people are tapping within the first 10 minutes. So the first 10 minutes of your live is really important. And then after that, you want to make sure when you set your goal, start your goal with something small. Hello, Queen. Good morning. How are you today? Thank you for joining us. We're just doing our morning money mindset. We like to come on first thing in the morning and just get ourselves ready for the day. We try to start off on a positive note. I always say it's important to get ahead of the day, because you don't want the day to get ahead of you. You don't want the day to just drag you. So, yes, thank you so much, Brenda, for tapping the screen. That is so helpful. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone coming in. Thank you for joining us. My name is Janae. We are just here to make sure we have a successful Wednesday today. Good morning. So glad to have you. So glad to have you here, Brenda. Yes. So yeah, let's just keep talking about work. What is it called? It's called Work and Power. And it's some more of the pictures in the book. I think the pictures are so pretty. All right, so she said there are 3 truths to keep in mind. There is no such thing as being discovered. The person with the most talent doesn't always get ahead, and that life is a bitch sometimes. Forget what everyone tells you. There is no right way to get ahead. My entire company is proof of that. The people I rely on every day have arrived in all kinds of ways from different places, and many of them have risen to top jobs in the fashion industry at an extremely young age as well. I was actually watching one of Rihanna's, I think it was a behind the scenes of her Fenty Beauty when she was first launching it, and I don't remember if it was the Fenty Beauty or the fashion line, but I remember the first guy she hired, he was saying how it was just the 2 of them and they were just trying to figure it out. So when you're at the very beginning, just like we see right now, sometimes it'll just be the 2 of you guys. It might just be you and one other person, and you've gone live before. Sometimes that number will be 0 and you still have to keep going no matter what. And even if you feel like, no one's here listening, I'm so thankful that you're here. And even if, sometimes the number is 0, you're there. That counts too. So I think that's what that made me think of. Like, just keep going even when, you feel like you don't really know what you're doing. You feel like you don't see where it's going to go. Just keep going no matter what. Let's see. What other quotes could we find? Okay, this one, I'm going to read this little passage right here. It says, do it yourself, getting started. Don't spend a whole lot of money on things that you can't afford at the beginning. I always say start with where you are, with what you have. Yes, that's so true, Brenda. The right ones will stick around. When you want to build, any kind of foundation, you want to build it the right way. The other day, there was this guy, and there are a lot of ways on TikTok. People can finesse their numbers and all that kind of stuff, but don't do that. You want to make sure. Good morning, everybody coming in. We're just talking about success tips on TikTok right now, but you don't want to do that, because if you go to someone's page and you see that they're only following like 28 people, but they have like 100,000 followers, but we don't know what they do or who they are, it's pretty obviously that they probably purchase followers. So don't ever do that. Conflated numbers, I don't think that ever really works out for anybody. And the times I've seen people do that, they stop posting because they know the truth is that they didn't really work to get what they wanted. Like, it does take longer, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. So the next quote says, never ever pay to get into an agency. And I think that's true too. You shouldn't have to spend all that money to find people who say they're going to help you. Let's see, find another quote. Frustration breeds motivation. And I think that's true too. When you get really, really frustrated and you really want to change your life, you will take the necessary steps. Let's see, what other quotes do we have? I have this one. It says, interview tips if anyone has a job. Hey Kimmy, welcome in. I was trying to let's see, since you're here, if I'm able to do it. I was trying to add you as a moderator. Let's see. Yep, here we go. Yay, my 2 moderators. Well, I have 3. My sister is my 3rd moderator. But yeah, we're just still reading from the book, and there was a passage here. It talks about if you have a job interview or anything like that. It says, make sure your resume has perfect spelling and that it's neat and clean and concise. I actually, I used to work for the city of New Orleans. I think I can say that. But yes, when I used to work there, I used to have to go through people's resumes. And some people's resumes would be a hot mess, y'all. So like, the first impression when people see your resume is so important. Oh, let me see. I'm not seeing messages. Okay. But yes, when people first see your resume, you want to make sure it looks so nice and pretty. You want to make sure it stands out like when on first look, because some of those resumes are just, I don't know what people used to do. We used to have to go through a lot of them. So that was step 1 if you're trying to get a job. Step 2, it says be excited about the job. So apply to jobs that you're really excited about, because the company will be able to tell if you're excited to be there or not. So even if you're not excited, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. I understand it's tight, the economy right now. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday who was looking for a job. So this is actually really good tips. Number 3, it says research a couple of smart, thoughtful questions about the company. And that's what anything, people love when you ask them about them. They love when they know that you've done your homework. So always keep that in mind. And anybody just coming in, we're talking right now about tips for landing a job if you have a job interview. So I'm going to go, hey, Michael, hey, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you today. How are you? Thank you. Like I said, we're just going through some interview tips. If anyone, is looking for a job, trying to get a job. I know a lot of people are looking for jobs right now, and it's really competitive. Good morning. We're so happy to have you here today. So the first one we talked about, making sure your resume is nice and crisp and clean and pretty. Not necessarily pretty, but you want to look so professional when somebody on first look. Oh, TikTok is hiring. I think so. In a way they are. But this is just for anyone who, is doing it the old-fashioned way. So like we said, make sure you have a nice, clean, crisp resume. You want, when someone sees your resume, they want to say, wow, this person is professional. You want it to show that you took the time to lay your resume out. Step 2 is to be excited about the job. Welcome in, Ken. We're talking about building your resume. If anyone is applying for jobs, these are some tips that will help y'all land a good job. We want to get a nice, good job that will pay well. We talked about our resume, being excited for the job, having good energy to bring to the workspace. Number 3, we talked about researching thoughtful questions in your job interviews. You don't want to ask just the regular questions. Like when I was in a job interview, one of my favorite jobs I remember I asked about, when the person interview, you want to ask them how long have they been in the company? Maybe what are their favorite things about being a part of that company? Maybe you can ask about opportunities for growth. How long did it take them to level up in the company? How long did it take them to get a promotion? That's a really good question to ask. What else? And yeah, definitely if y'all think of some, y'all can add in the chat. What are some good tips that we can tell anyone? Because I'm going to have these replays available for people. What are some tips we can give anyone who might be looking for a job right now? So what does the book say? Number 4, it says, don't try to suck up. This book is based on fashion. So it says, don't try to suck up dressing head to toe in the brand. In fact, avoid wearing the brand at all and focus on putting together a look in sync with the brand. And I worked in retail for a good while. And I would always recommend like just wearing like a crisp color, maybe black or something. You want to look really clean and professional. If you have a blazer, I would suggest just getting maybe one black blazer that you can wear every day, and then maybe if you need to build your money up, you could get one with like a cute little design on it or something like that to make your outfit pop. But you always want to focus on being just crisp and clean and professional. People love that, especially neutral colors. Maybe if you don't like black, you could go for, you know, a cream, or those nude colors are always nice, but neutral tones are always good. Next it says, let's see. Don't be freaked out by your interviewer's fancy job title or position or authority. Just picture them. It says just picture them at 8 weeks old. Less scary. Does it work? I wouldn't do that. And she recommended to send a nice, neat thank you note. But you know, this book might have been written before emails were a thing, but you can always follow up. Hello, good morning, Tessie. Today we're talking about interview tips and job tips. If anyone is out there trying to get a job, how to look professional and crisp and clean. You know, go in there with your head held high. You know, ask good questions. Do research about the company. Ask the person interviewing you, what do they like about the job? What are some opportunities for growth? What are they looking for that you can add to the team? Sorry, I just heard those sirens in the background. But what can you add to the team? What specific skills are they looking for that you can really add value to the team? So I hope that is really, really helpful for anyone out there who might be looking to land a job right now, because I know people really are. You know, I know TikTok and Amazon and everything, you can do digital work, and that is helpful, but sometimes people still need to clock in and have, you know, a regular job. I know Ken has a good job as well, so he knows about that. Okay, and then now it says a checklist for being a good employee. It says don't be last minute. Always stay ahead of the game. So, you know, if you have a project that you're working on, you don't want to procrastinate. Nobody wants you to be turning anything in last minute. Nobody wants anything that they can tell that you just threw together. Always put some thought into your work. Take pride in what you do, no matter how small. And I understand sometimes you might work at a job that you don't really like. And I remember times where I would be at work and I'm like, I couldn't see what was going to be the next step for me. I didn't understand, you know, but I would still show up and do my best. So y'all just always keep that in mind. And number 2, she says, don't ever say that's not part of my job. You know, sometimes they ask you to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. I remember I used to have to clean bathrooms, y'all, when I used to work at the mall. I remember sometimes people would come and trash my fitting room. I would be so upset, especially when I worked in high-end luxury. Oh, sorry. Sometimes it just keeps saying, let's see. It just keeps telling me that y'all like the live. I don't know how to get that off. Let me see. But I can see your comments, Kimmy. I don't know why it just keeps saying such and such like the live. Let me see. Oops, I scrolled left and now I can't get this screen off, but yeah, if y'all had a question, you could just type it again. Let me see. How do I fix this? Okay. I think I turned that off. It's okay. Okay. Hey, the pretty... Hey, girl. Welcome in. D, the pretty muse, welcome in, girl. How are you? We have been just talking about job tips for anyone who might have a job interview or is trying to land a good job right now. We talked about tips for resume building and all that kind of stuff, and now we're just talking about, you know, once you get that job, what do you do once you get there? So we talked about not being last minute, making sure we're staying on top of our projects, making sure we don't ever say that that's not a part of my job. That's what we were just talking about when I worked in retail. I would have to do things that I didn't necessarily want to do. Sometimes I would have to clean the bathroom, have to clean the fitting room. Sometimes I would have to work a part of the store that definitely was not in my expertise. Like I would, hey, Essence, how are you, girl? I was thinking about you this morning. I still have to text my nieces. I gotta remember to do that. I have to text them and ask them what their phone size is. And y'all definitely support my girl. Her name is oh yeah, I can put you on the spotlight. Hold on. Hey D, how are you this morning, girl? You took a little break there. I was missing you. But yes, y'all definitely check out my girl Solo Essence right here. She makes custom phone cases. I was trying to reach for my phone to show them. But I love is Ken. I think TikTok is being a little glitchy right now. Let me see. But yes, y'all, she makes great phone cases. I would show y'all mine right now, but obviously we're on the phone. But I literally look at my phone case when I'm feeling sad sometimes. Yes. All right, so let's keep going with what we were talking about. We were talking about tips for if anyone is trying to land a job, if you have a job interview coming up. And y'all, if you are in need of a job, just keep visualizing yourself with that perfect job. Apply for jobs that are within your skill set, that you can really add to the team, that you'll be excited to be there. And even jobs you love, sometimes it's not always going to be perfect, and you'll have times where you want to give up and quit, but keep going, y'all. The times I gave up and quit, I ain't gonna say I regret it, but there is just one job in particular that I really feel like if I could have just held out longer, it really would have paid off for me. But we all live and learn, we all grow. And that's why now I'm here sharing tips with y'all. So everything happens for a reason. Yes, prayer. Okay, good, girl. No worries at all. Because like I said, I still have to ask them what size their phones are. One of my nieces, her birthday is coming up. So that's why I had the idea to send them... Sorry, the music is distracting me right now. But that's why I had the idea to send them some custom phone cases. Let me reset my goal really fast. And for anyone, if you go live on TikTok, before you end your live, you want to make sure your goal is met. Don't end your live without your goal being filled up. All right, so okay, we talked about that. And being organized is really important. That's important whether you work for someone else or if you work for yourself. Because for me, like when I do my website updates and everything, I need all my folders to be so organized. I need it to say exactly what it is. It has to be labeled correctly. So from the beginning, if you're starting a business, you want to start a brand or anything like that, organization is something that, thank y'all for sending those gifts too. But organization is so important. You will thank yourself if you, from the beginning, you start a system. And then always keep in mind for in the future, if you want to hire somebody, you have to be able to explain to somebody what that is. Because when I first started, I wasn't organized. I would kind of just throw my files everywhere. And so then by the time I want to have an assistant, she's looking at me like, girl, what is this? So always start it right from the beginning. Have that foundation in place. I didn't read the whole book because it's a pretty big book, but Steve Jobs' book, he talked about like when he was building Apple, how detailed they were. On the inside of the MacBook, everything had to be nice, crisp, and pristine, even though we didn't see that part. He was so serious about how nice everything had to be. Like, he would drive his employees crazy, but look at how the company is still standing today, even though he's not here with us anymore. We on an iPhone right now. So that just talks to how important it is to set up that foundation, how to be neat and organized. It pays off in the long run. It's tedious and it's time consuming. It's exhausting, but it will pay off in the long run. I promise y'all. All right, so I don't even know what number we're on. She labels them as A, B, C, D. So D says, be fabulous. Express confidence at all times. This rule applies to every job, and that applies to whether you're working a job, working for yourself, working here on TikTok. If you got to get on live, you got to be confident. You have to believe in yourself. And even if at the beginning you don't believe in yourself and you're not confident, get you 1 or 2 friends who'll come sit in your live with you. My first live, well, not the very first live, but my friend Ken, Ken, are you still in here? My friend Ken was on here when I was not confident at all. Like, I was so nervous, and he was sitting with me on live, and that really did mean a lot because it was like, I felt like I was talking to myself, and that's not the best feeling ever. So, yeah, my stepsister, sometimes she'll come sit with me on my live. So if you have some people that you can trust that'll be there for you, definitely do. And if you don't. And all of y'all in here, if y'all want to go live, y'all need me to come sit with y'all, tag me, message me. I will come sit with you. It says, number E, it says, be a gold medal multitasker. Be able to discuss the new Ludacris video that shows how dated this song is, but this book is. But what she's basically saying, be able to touch on multiple topics, you know, whether you have a young person coming in that you're working with or whether you have somebody older, you have to be able to. Yes, my girl Kimmy will definitely come sit with you. Make sure y'all are connected to my girl Kimmy. Let me put you on the spotlight. Kimmy, the motivator, her name is exactly what she is. She will motivate and inspire and encourage you. You know, I always say when I found Kimmy's page, I think I posted something and Kimmy commented. And when I saw the comment, you know, like we go through things during the day. I'm like, girl, I know I'm that girl. I'm trying to tell them I'm that girl. So ever since then, she just slid in my comments. Me and Kimmy are locked in like this. Like I tell my girls, that's Auntie Kimmy. And I met her here on TikTok. You can make real friends here on TikTok. Like for real, the connections are real. The things you talk about with people, they remember. Let's see. All right, so number F, well, letter F, she says, be discreet. Know when you're getting played and don't gossip. Definitely don't gossip at work, y'all. You don't want to ever be a part of that at all. You always want to keep it professional with your coworkers. She says it's plain common sense. One of the most underrated and highly valued qualities a person has. And you don't never want to get caught up in the gossip because you don't want nobody gossiping about you. You don't want them to be like, oh, what they talking about when I'm not here. So don't ever get caught up in any of that, you guys. Let's see. All right, so now she says, and this, if anyone's just coming in, I forgot I didn't explain. We are reading Fabulosity by Kimora Lee Simmons. She is such a big fashion and style icon to me. I learned so much from her, and what she did with urban fashion was so major. If you were, you know, we're all different ages, but if you were, you know, alive and were able to see it, you know, she really was, and it still is such a pioneer. Like she just, she's really special to me. So that's why we're reading her book. Okay, so it says tips for dressing for success, and it's 4 rules that she says. In general, more skin equals less power. So just like today, I'm wearing a cardigan. If you have a nice cardigan you can wear to work, get creative with conservative dress code, you know. And that was just like I was saying, you know, if you are starting off at a job and you need clothes, I always recommend just get you, I would start with all black. That's always easy to wear. Get you a nice black blazer that you can wear and look crisp. Hey, Joe, welcome in, y'all. Joe is so fabulous to have here. We're going through, you know, just job tips. If anyone's looking for a job, need help with a job, that's just what we're going over. Get creative with your dress code. Like I said, you may start with just a black blazer. Thank you for those fabulous gifts. And then you may want to, from there, then get, you know, a special blazer that might have a nice, I used to have my old blazer was sitting right here, but you might get a blazer that might has a nice detail on it that you can wear with your outfit that'll make you stand out. That's always good. Okay, it says giant lettering. Lettering on your clothes is fine if you are on a football team, but in an office environment, it's just too hectic and distracts from what you are saying. So this is a Skims cardigan. So it kind of just looks like it has dots on it, but it does say Skims. So maybe, you know, if it has a little subtle detail, no one's going to trip on that. And then the last one, it says, no scuffed up, banged up shoes. It's an instant image buster. So just taking pride in your appearance, making sure you look good at work. Thank you, D girl. Yes, so just making sure we're looking crisp and polished. And even if it's not at the job interview, you know, if you're looking for a job, you just need to start projecting that with your appearance. You know, dress for the job you want, not what you have. I'm in my house right now, but I'm still, you know, I'm dressed as if, you know, we are in we could be at work right now. I got ready. I did my makeup a little bit and I wore a cute little sweater and I'm wearing a little dress. So that's always something to just keep in mind. Take pride in your appearance, y'all. Nothing's wrong with that. All right. Okay, and so then maybe this might, let's see where we are on time. This might be the last part that we might read. But if anyone has questions, definitely let me know. Okay, so this is an empowerment guide that she gives us. And it says, don't deflect or blame onto the system, the screwed up schooling you got, or the chances no one ever gave you. So I'm going to read it one more time. Don't deflect or blame onto the system. And we can stop there because, you know, It's very easy to be like, it's hard to make it in this world and to go down that negative spiral, but we don't even need to do that. We're not even going to blame you. You might not have went to the best school. You might not. I know my elementary school's child. They was just doing the best they could. I remember our class would have over 30 children in the classroom. I remember our teachers complaining about that. It would be so overwhelming. And so don't even, it's very easy to take on, the problems for our past. I'm going to just reset the goal one more time because it keeps flashing on me. And I was giving everybody advice. Y'all don't ever leave your life without your goal being filled. Let's see. Let's do... let's do maybe that one. Welcome in, everybody coming in. We've been talking about my girl V. Welcome in, girl. We've been talking about Kimora Lee Simmons, Fabulosity, what it is, and how to get it. And this chapter we have been reading today is called Work Empower. She's giving us tips on, job interviews, what to do to be a good employee. How can we? Oh, would you ask Ken? I missed it. Let me see. Sometimes it just keeps showing me that people are liking the live. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I marked the people as, and I think that messes up the. What if you're looking for a new job while you already have a job? That's a great question. Your time management is going to be really important because you're going to have to be in between while you're already at your job. You have to find time to apply for those jobs. And I've done that before. I remember one time during my lunch break, I had a whole job interview, y'all. So keep that in mind, maybe. And I know you said you worked in like a factory setting, so maybe you have to bring your blazer and leave it in the car. You might have to leave your other job outfit in the car real quick. And if you have an hour-long lunch break, you can schedule that job interview in between that time. And maybe when you get off work, I would go ahead and apply on Indeed, and what's the other ones called? There's Indeed, LinkedIn, and I forget what the other one is. There's another really big one. I can't remember. If y'all know in the chat, definitely put it. Let me see. I have to fix this thing because when it says marked viewer, it takes up the whole, like it tells me when y'all like and everything. Hold on. But yeah, definitely put tips if y'all know in the comments. But yes, if you already have a job and you're looking for another job, make sure you're staying on top of putting your resume out there. Just like we said at the beginning, have a crisp, nice, neat, pristine looking resume. I would apply to at least 10 jobs per day if you can. I would do that maybe immediately after you get off work or whenever you have some downtime. Like I said, schedule your interviews. If you have some like paid time off that you have, if you have a day you could take off, maybe you might schedule multiple interviews on that day that you have off. What else? What are some good tips? Those are the top 3, I would say. Like I said, if you have to keep a spare outfit maybe in your car or wherever you can, just, you're really going to have to be aggressive because I've done that before. I've switched jobs while I still had another job. So it can be done. Just stay positive and keep coming to our morning money mindset and, just stay consistent and keep visualizing yourself. Get clear on what is a good job for you. And you may have to get a journal and maybe write down, okay, this is what I like at this job. But this is what I don't like. If I could change anything, this is what I would rather be doing. And keep that in mind when you are on your job interviews to ask them okay, is it okay if I do this? Whatever it is that your skill set is really strong, you want to be somewhere where people appreciate your skill set and what you can bring to the job. That's really important. You want to make sure you feel appreciated. So those are the top tips I have. Let me see. I still have to fix this thing because it just I can't see everybody's comments. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I added y'all as marked viewers so that I will always be able to see your comments. But it'll tell me when y'all press like and it just takes up the whole screen. So if I miss anything, don't be afraid to type it again. But I think I fixed it. All right, so where were we? I think we were on, let's see. Yeah, we talked about dressing for success. We talked about the empowerment guide is where we left off on. So there's always a way into something. It may not be the perfect job or the ideal platform for your vast talents, but if it gets you in the work world and positioned somewhere close to the kind of job or industry you want to be in, take it. So even if it's not the most perfect, yes, just get, and you have to be aggressive, and it can be exhausting. Thank you, Brenda. Yes, my moderators, y'all are able to pin the comment. If I miss anybody's comment, definitely pin it for me. Yes, so maybe you might want to switch from being in the warehouse to being in an office job. Definitely talk to your managers to see if there are any positions available for moving up. If you've been there for a while, I would try to move up within the company. But if not, no worries. You can just make sure you're applying every chance you get, whenever you have some downtime. But yes, definitely start with that resume. Like I said, you want to make sure your resume looks good. And if you want to send it to me and I'll send you my email address. I can definitely help you. I used to work for the city of New Orleans, and I had, my little cubicle and all that kind of stuff. And I used to have to go through a lot of interviews, not interviews, resumes. So, I do have a good idea of what a resume should look like. All right, so let's see. Potential will get noticed is number 3. She says, if you work hard and are committed and bring your best self to the table, your efforts will be noticed. Managers do notice. They notice the people who go above and beyond. I remember in retail, I will always take pride in making sure my hangers, it's called what was it called? It's the way your hangers are spaced, and there's a way you can do it where it looks just so crisp. It's so satisfying, especially when you first walk in the store and you see everything looks so nice. You can tell when someone's just pushing through the hangers, and that shows you just how the small details. Nobody cares that I'm finger spacing. It was what is called. So in between each hanger, you might put your finger or 2 fingers, and then you put the next hanger. And that's such a small detail that the average person does not care about, because people will always come in after I done neatly set up my hangers and they just swoosh the whole thing, and I'm like, yep. But in retail, there's a lot of not a lot, but sometimes there'll be downtime, and I would just take my time and just make sure the hangers would be nice and neat. And you see how small and that detail is, but it was something that mattered to me, and it was something that my managers really did appreciate. So take pride in those small details that you bring to the table, because not everybody's gonna think about the same details that you think about. So remember that you are a valuable part of the team. The things that you think are important, I bet you your managers will be very happy that you did that, no matter how small the detail is. Okay? So number 4, she says, see the upside of rejection. One door closing can mean another door opening. You might not be the right person for a particular job you just interviewed for, but if you impress the employer, they will almost always keep you in mind for openings down the line and refer you to their friends. That happened to me before I applied for a job at, I think it was it Dillard's or JCPenney, one of the department stores. And I didn't get the first interview that I didn't get the job that I immediately interviewed for, but they called me back because they did like me. They were trying to see where they could fit me. And sometimes people are trying to see where they could fit you in. So stay optimistic, make a good impression on your interview. And even if you don't get that particular interview, follow up and send an email or a thank you note saying, hey, thank you for my interview. And they may keep that in mind. They may not, but they might will, and they might contact you down the line and say, hey, we remember we interviewed you. We like you. We have this position open. So even if you do get a rejection, turn it around into a positive. And we're almost done with this first part, so we might end it here. All right, and it says how to kick up from the bottom up. Be someone's in the know source. Be a connector and keep your griefs to yourself. Make it easy for people. Be clear, positive, and above all, simple with your communication. Don't come into work carrying all your personal baggage. I don't want to hear about how long it took you to get into the office because she lives in New York when she wrote this. She said, because you live in Queens and the subway sucks and blah, 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 blah. So basically just not making excuses. Oh, wait, there were a few more from the last one. Hold on, you guys. It says, lack of experience and knowledge seems like a huge handicap when you're starting out the gates, but they're the simplest ones to overcome. Because when it's easy to gain experience, the more you keep doing something, the more experience. Hey, Chrissy coming in. Good morning, girl. How are you today? We're just talking about Kimora Lee Simmons' book. We've been talking about tips for getting a new job, what to do if you have a job that you don't like and you're trying to get a new one, how to set up that resume. I told y'all, I think my email address is in my bio. If anybody needs me to help y'all with a resume, I will be more than happy to help you with that. I have experience with looking at resumes. And we talked about whenever you get downtime applying for those jobs, what to do if you get rejected, still follow up and send a email thanking them for their time, because they may keep that in mind for other positions they have in the future. We went over a lot, so I will be having these replays available because I feel like we are covering such good information that people will want to know. Okay, and she says, once you get your foot in the door, maintain the attitude that this is my chance to learn. So while you're on the job, even if you're at the job that you don't like, keep gaining knowledge that you can take with you onto your next position. And then we were talking about she says to be nice to the receptionist. And what that makes me think about is be nice to everybody. Be nice to the janitor or receptionist. Be nice to everybody. Don't ever think anybody is too small. Because sometimes you might have been in that position yourself where someone will treat you like, oh, they just this person. They nobody. They just only want to kiss up to the boss or whoever, is the head person in charge. Don't be like that. Appreciate everybody, because you never know. That person might be the janitor today. They might be the CEO of the company tomorrow. If you ever saw the movie Crazy Rich Asians, the way that movie starts, that kind of speaks to, you want to treat everybody with respect, no matter how small the job. All right, and then we'll end with our quotes that she has here at the end. Sorry, y'all, they cutting the grass, but it says, to hell with circumstances. I create opportunities. So no matter where you are right now, no matter what your situation is, know that you can create an opportunity for yourself. The next quote says, you can't just sit there and wait for people to give you that golden dream. You have to get up. You have to go. You've got to go. You got to get out there and make it happen for yourself. I don't know why my eyes were just switching up that sentence, y'all, but you've got to get out there and make it happen for yourself. You got to get out there and make it happen for yourself. Today I'm getting out there and I'm making it happen for myself. That's our affirmation, y'all. Today I'm getting out there and I'm making it happen for myself. Hello, Tiffany. Welcome in, girl. We wrapping up. We had a nice live today. We really, really did. We've been talking about all kind of things for, if anyone's looking for a job, getting a new job, updating the resume, all that kind of stuff, all in Kimora Lee Simmons' book. But no worries if y'all missed. I will, whenever I do finally am able to just sit and get the replay available, I will definitely let y'all know, because we really did go through a lot of good things today. Welcome, my girl, Nay. Hey, girl. We was talking about Kimora Lee Simmons' book. We've been talking about, tips for success, tips for if you're looking for a job, tip for maintaining the job, tip for being a great employee, how to stand out amongst the crowd. Thank you for those wonderful gifts, girl. But yes, we want to make sure we're taking pride in our work, no matter where we are, no matter how big or how small our position is. We are a valuable asset to wherever we are. If you are on a company, if you're building your own dream, we talked about being organized, how important it is to set up a foundation that is very organized and neat. Because if you're starting today, your brand might just be you today, but you might have 10 employees down the line. So we want to start from the beginning, making sure we can explain our systems to people, making sure everything is organized, everything is labeled correct. Oh, look at my hat, y'all. Oh, look, I'm official. Thank y'all for sending those gifts. They are so appreciated. So if anyone has a question, let me know. Like I said, my email address is in my bio if anyone needs help. So there were 2 more quotes we were going to finish with. It says, there was no manual how to write. Oh, this was Nas. And we did read this yesterday, but I'll read it again. It says, from Nas, the rapper, y'all. And he's such an icon. He said, there was no manual on how to write my first album. There were no guidelines to how that was written. And I think that's what made me special. So remember that even if you don't exactly know what you're doing, if you just start moving, you will figure it out. You will gain experience. You're going to gain knowledge. And don't worry about trying to buy all those expensive courses, because trust me. Okay, girl, I understand. You know, I'll set these up for... the book is available on Amazon. I bought mine from Amazon. I will see if there's any other place where we can find it. Last week we talked about this book. It's called You're a Badass at Making Money. And I always recommend this book to people. Just, you know, if you're feeling really, you know, stuck about money, you need it to be lighthearted, you need a laugh real quick. She talks about being on a first name basis with the credit people. The, what's it called? When you owe them people money. She was making jokes about it, y'all. So if she can laugh at that, girl, ain't nothing you can't come back from. Ain't no mistake you done made that you cannot come back from. Ain't nothing you can't fix, okay? So that is that book. And this one is on YouTube, Audible, for free. Y'all can listen to the whole book. And you can, even if you can't sit and really listen to every single line, if you have it playing in the background, sometimes you'll catch, you know, a sentence that might sit with... a sentence that really resonates with you and that you can really take something from it. So don't worry if you like, oh, I don't have time to read all these books. Girl, throw it on in the background like you do your music. And so the last quote we have is from Cher, also a singer. And she says, women have to harness their power. It's absolutely true. It's just learning not to take the first no. Never take no from it as an answer. And if you can't go straight ahead, go around the corner. So how I interpret that quote is, sometimes you might want to go from A to B, and you can't just go from A to B. Maybe I got this job now and I want to get another job, but I can't just do that right now. Find ways, find other alternative streams of income. There are so many ways, especially we are so blessed to have the internet, and just, you know, you have to get creative. Knowing your skill set and being confident in your skill set is so important. Hey, let me see. Y'all be sneaking in trying to get me to stay on long. Okay, she was scrolling through, but yes, y'all. So if anybody has any questions, definitely let me know. I think we had a really good live today. Thank y'all all for being here with me. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope your day is blessed and prosperous. You know, if you have any setbacks, like I said, just always remember there's nothing that you cannot come back from. There's nothing that can, you know, sometimes we feel so down and so bad. But please know, you know, pray on it, meditate on it, you know, whatever your religion is, whatever your spirit is guided to, just, you know, y'all just stay optimistic, stay positive. And, you know, I thank y'all for being here with me. Yes, it's a lot of nays, okay? My girl Nay, thank you for being here with me. And y'all have a blessed day. Have a blessed Wednesday, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow for sure with the next part of the chapter. Bye.